When one walks into Yad Vashem, the famous Israeli National Holocaust Museum, one would expect to see gas chambers, crematorium, depictions of starvation and hunger and murder and all the terrible things which took place during the Holocaust. But instead, you walk into this large hallway, and actually the only thing you see is this giant mural which depicts the vibrant and beautiful Jewish life which the Jews had before the Holocaust. And it depicts Jews of all different walks of life and kids playing in the streets and families together at simchas and Hasidim on the holidays and Jews dancing together and all the different beautiful things that Jews had in their lives before the Holocaust. And the designers of the museum, they realized that in order to really appreciate the destruction of the Holocaust, it had to be contrasted with the life, the vibrant, beautiful life that the Jews had before the Holocaust. Our Kina is constructed in the exact same way as Yad Vashem. Our Kina contrasts what it was like B'tseisi mi Mitzrayim when we left Egypt during the Exodus, with B'tseisi mi Yerushalayim when we left Yerushalayim in the exile. And each stanza begins and it describes how amazing it was when we left Egypt and the miracles which took place when we left Egypt. And each stanza ends and describes how terrible it was and all the pain and suffering when we were forced to leave Yerushalayim. And it contrasts the closeness to Hashem we felt when we left Egypt and the distance from Hashem that we felt when we were forced out of Mitzrayim. And the reason that the Kina contrasts the two, B'tseisi mi Mitzrayim and B'tseisi mi Yerushalayim, is because the contrast helps us feel the pain. It helps us realize what we lost, what we're missing, and how far we've fallen. But on the other hand, there's something very comforting about the contrast and about not just focusing on where we are right now and our suffering and our pain that we're going through right now, but to look back at Jewish history and to realize that we are part of something much bigger. And to realize that yes, there are a lot of downs in Jewish history. There's pain, there's suffering. But to realize there are also a lot of ups. And that's what Jewish history is. It's a lot of ups and it's lots of downs. And there's something very comforting about that. And the ultimate comfort of the Kina comes from the final stanza of the Kina, that it goes from B'tseisi mi Mitzrayim to B'tseisi mi Yerushalayim, but ultimately the final line in the Kina speaks about Bishuvi liYerushalayim, that we're ultimately going to return to Yerushalayim. And we don't just look back on Jewish history and focus on the past, but we look towards the future and we focus on Jewish destiny. And we might have once been up here and now we've fallen, but we know the story is not over. And ultimately, we're going to get back here. That's the story of the Jewish people, and that's the ultimate Jewish destiny of Bishuvi the Yerushalayim. And this is the way Yad Vashem is constructed. Like I said, you enter the museum, you see the mural of what once was in Europe before the war. That's like B'tseisi mi Mitzrayim, closeness to Hashem, and the good times. And then we focus on B'tseisi mi Yerushalayim, the hard times, the painful times. But we end Bishuvi Yerushalayim. And at the end of the exhibit of Yad Vashem, you don't end up in a gift shop like in most museums, but you actually walk out onto this giant porch which overlooks the entire Yerushalayim. And you're filled with hope for the future, that we've gone through so much and we've experienced so much pain, but we realize the story is not over. And you look out to the hills of Yerushalayim and you realize the Jewish destiny is yet to come, and we're working towards the Jewish destiny.